Good evening. My name is Michael Am, a student management. I'm presenting on the topic digital leadership mindset and sustainable competitive advantage, the mediating role of digital capabilities. This study examines how leaders' digital orientation influence and organizational ability to build sustainable competitive advantage, particularly through development of digital capabilities. So, with the background, we are currently in a high digital business environment where technologies such as artificial intelligence, cloud computing, and big data analytics and automation are changing how firms normally operate. Organizations need to integrate digital technologies into operations to remain competitive. This technology improves efficiency, support, innovation, and also help firms to respond quickly to market change. As a result, business are no longer competing only based on traditional resources, but also how well they are adopt digital transformation. So with the problem statement, at this point, leadership becomes very important. At this point, leadership becomes very important. So over here, the problem statement is saying that despite growing business and growing digital investment, many firms fail to achieve in competitive advantage, weak capability development, leadership alignment. So existing literature suggests that digital transformation skills are often linked to leadership capability. Yeah. Others also say that leadership mindset alone may not directly influence performance. Another one also is saying organizations may act as a critical mechanism. So at this point, I will go for the objective of the. So the study has a four main objectives, and with the first objective, examine the relationship between the digital leadership mindset and sustainable competitiveness. The second one talks about assessing the influence of digital leadership mindset on digital ability. The third one is to examine the relationship between digital capabilities and sustainable competitive advantage. The fourth one is to investigate the mediating role of digital capability. I will then move to the research questions. With the research question, it's asking a question of does the digital leadership mindset have a significant positive influence on sustainable competitive advantage? The next one is talking about does the digital leadership mindset significantly influence digital capabilities? The third question is asking do digital capabilities significantly predict sustainable competitive advantage? The fourth one is doing digital capabilities, yeah, the relationship between digital leadership mindset and sustainable competitive advantage. So I'll move on to the significance of state. And this study is important in four major ways. The first one talks about the theoretical significance, which it integrates these three major theories to explain the relationship among leadership, capabilities, and competitive advantage. When we take that of the technological significance, it applies to the structure equation model and mediation analysis in Ghanaian context. When we take the practical significance of the study, the findings will help managers to understand how leadership mindset affect organization competitive, competitive. Sorry, the contextual significance. Over here, most previous studies were conducted in developed countries. So this study fills an important gap by providing evidence from Ghana and Sub-Saharan Africa. I'll move on to the hypothesis of the study. With the hypothesis, based on the existing theories and literature, that the study says four hypotheses. With the four hypotheses, the first one talks about, it says that the digital leadership mindset positively affects sustainable competitive advantage. The second hypothesis talks about digital capability, digital leadership mindset positively affect digital capability. The third one also says that digital capabilities positively influence sustainable competitive advantage. And the fourth one is saying that digital capabilities significantly mediate the relationship between digital leadership mindset and sustainable competitive advantage. So I'll move on to the literature review. With the literature review, with the literature review, over this session reviews the key variables in the state and leadership, digital leadership mindset over here refers to the leadership openness, innovation, agility, and also data-driven decision making. The digital capabilities involve technology flexibility, um, analytical capabilities, and that of digital innovation. Sustainable competitive advantage over here refers to a firm's ability to maintain superior performance over competitors over the time. So the literature reviews over here shows the relationship among these variables, but there is a limited research combining all these three in one integrated model, especially in developing economies. So the theoretical framework. So with the theoretical framework, with the theoretical framework, this study is grounded in three theories. This study is grounded in three theories. The first theory is the resource-based theory, which was developed by Benny, which explains that firms gain competitive advantage through valuable and rare resources. The second one is dynamic capabilities theory by David Pease, which explains how firms adapt to change. Uh, this explains how firms adapt to changing environment. The third one is the upper echelons theory by Donald Humphrey, which explains how leaders' characteristics influence organizational. So together, these theories provide the foundation for this particular research. When we go to the conceptual framework, this is my conceptual framework, and we see the digital leadership mindset is the independent variable, and the sustainable competitive advantage is the dependent variable. The digital capabilities serve as the mediating variable, and the model possesses a direct and indirect relationship per the diagram. So with my research method, this study adopts quantitative research approach based on positive philosophy, and a deductive approach will be used because of the hypothesis are theory driven. The research It's a cross-sectional survey. With my research, it's a cross-sectional survey, and the target population consists of senior and middle level managers because they are involved in strategic and digital decision making. And we stratified random sampling will be used to select corresponding, and data will be collected using the structured questionnaire based on the 5-point Likert scale. For the analysis, we will use the CFA, that is the complementary factor analysis. Will test the validity and the reliability, pass the structure equation model, will test the hypothesis. Bootstrapping with by 5,000 uh, iteration would be used test the mediation. So this is the end of my